Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Market Watch Group weekly opening bell. My name is Scott. It's good to see everybody. I would never ignore somebody on purpose, Andy. Never. I'm just flaky. Everybody knows that. I'm bad at email. Uh, I get lost in the weeds of the work I'm doing for sure. Anyways, okay, let's get into it. Here's the disclaimers. Be careful out there. Education, illustrative purposes, not brokers, not advisors, no recommendations, no guidance. Our agenda: opening futures and news. Review economic calendar and market posture. We'll talk about mindset for opening any open trades. We have we have decent futures. So whatever you held bullishly, I would expect there's a good probability it is making more money when the market opens. Let's see. Opening range and what the implications are. Early week we'll look at our opportunity list, of course, and change that name. Trading plan section of the week. Let me get to that real fast. I can't let it go. Early week opportunity list. We talked about possibly calling it the focus list. It didn't seem to get any traction, so I'm just going to leave it for now. There's no reason to keep coming back to it. Let's move this out of the way and let's get looking at the futures. So, are you in trades? Are you did you carry some things over the weekend? I think we said we did. Somebody came in new. I have someone who came in and your username is a number, which is fine, but I would prefer if you put your name there or introduce yourself. We'd like to welcome you in if you're new. Okay, hanging with BAC. All right. Market temperature sounds good. For the watch list or for something else? Crucial June jobs reports ushers in new quarter. It's crucial. I don't know. I don't know if it's crucial. I feel like nothing's been out of line so far. If that makes sense, right? I don't know. I don't see it. I feel like the jobs. We'll look here in a second at what's going on, but if we got some negative surprises, certainly there's concern. I just don't. We haven't seen anything that would indicate anything along those lines. Okay. S&P futures are up 0.15, Dow futures 0.10, NASDAQ 0.16, Russell 0.17, oil's up a little, gold. It's marginal, but it's positive. It's better than not. What else? Boeing awaits a decision from the Department of Justice. Tesla is running out of excuses for prolonged sales slump, and in this picture, Musk is either pensive or praying. I don't know. He's thinking about it, or he's asking for some divine guidance. Either way, it's got to work out, hopefully. In Google, love it. SoFi, Amazon, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. These are good names. I like to hear these names. That's what we should be, right? I don't understand how this article keeps staying near, this is like prime real estate, and they keep telling me that some expert has decided that trading GameStop is like gambling. No shit, Sherlock. Oh, welcome to the party. Okay. Forget NVIDIA. You don't forget NVIDIA. All right, let's look at the economic calendar. Let's see. I know, right? Sales are down. Musk is going to get his big fat paycheck, and they're never again going to have what they had early on. Let's see here. Let's see. Today, nothing. Can you guys believe it's July 1st? It's the second half of 2024 already. Like, that just flew by. He should buy himself a country. Is New Zealand cheap right now? Nobody wants New Zealand? Once Lord of the Rings was done with it, everyone's just like, yeah, we can just see it. We can see it on the movies. We don't care. Okay. What's big? Federal Reserve Jerome Powell is in Portugal. I don't think there's anything he's talking about there that has market moving potential, so I'm not worried about that at all. Job openings is supposed to, and they're going to be like, oh, this is the lowest job openings number in X number of years. Well, yeah. I think we need to look at this one. Maybe we'll look at this one in the foundations class this week. Maybe we'll talk about, I don't know. I want to talk about employment, maybe specifically. But prior to the pandemic, this number was like 3 to 5 million at most. It was never up this high. Anyways, Wednesday ADP last month 150. This month expecting 170. The jobless claims number has like just eased up, like moved up a little teeny bit. Right? Just a teeny little bit. We were in the 220s, 215, 220-ish. Now it's 235. Anything south of 250, there's just for me like, if I see it get to 270, then I raise one eyebrow. And then if it spends 4 weeks there, so that my 3-week moving average, if I had one, for this got to about 275. Then I'm like, okay, you know what? There's a good chance our next monthly jobs report is going to be negative. I mean, it's just, that is what it is. And that's when things start to, like, that's when you're like, oh, okay, the institutions are definitely going to tighten up if they start thinking that the investment money coming in is going to tighten up as well. That's when we start to think the market a little different. Remember, July 4th is closed. There will be, I'll go look at SoFi. There's so many people talking about it. Let's put it on, you guys. Don't let me forget when we get to the S's. July 4th. There's the opening note. July 4th, market's closed. And there are no meetings of any kind. What does that mean for Thursday Foundations? Wednesday. Glenn will be here Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I'll be here Wednesday, 8:45. Wednesday. You'll see the adjustment made on the calendar. So, yes, we will have back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday Foundation sessions. Good. I think there's going to be some trading going on. So, yeah, let's be looking at it. Then Friday, we come back, and what do we get? Non-farm payrolls. Last month was 272. Remember, that was, again, unexpectedly high. I think we were expecting 170, and we got 270. Now we're expecting 195. And so there's no like, oh, well, it's dropping from 270 down to 195. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anything above 150, fine. 150 is stable. If we see this thing start to be, we're like, oh, we only added 70,000 new jobs, 50,000 new jobs. That's when you're like, oof, that's contracting. That is a contracting labor market. Okay. That's what's on our radar. We'll go take a peek at the opening range here in just a second. But first, let's just, as we're speaking about the Fed, let's take a look. Okay. July. which is 30 days away. That's still 4 weeks. Some people might think, hey, there might be information that comes out. No, not for me. The only information that could come out right now would be information for September. There's at this point, you can see here, it's greater than 10 to 1. This doesn't come back and then all of a sudden like, hey, look at us, we got a surprise. That's the other thing is we haven't seen surprise interest rate action for a long time. Well over a decade, almost 2, since Greenspan. I don't remember when Greenspan left. 2006? It's been a while. Bernanke was like the first big transparency guy. Oh, let's tell everybody. And then he created that market addiction that we find ourselves in now. Greenspan was not that way. He played it close to the chest. He would throw surprises. Okay. September. You can see we were at 2 to 1, and now we're not. The probability is still staying favorable, but it's more like 1.5 to 1. So I don't know. I am still firmly of the idea 1 cut in November. It's after the election. Everybody's happy. It's post-election. No like political accusations, right? You get 1 cut in. It's you've given as much time as you can, but you're not waiting too long just in case it's too long. It's just everything is right about a November cut. And then you can just ride it and see what happens, and then that's what I'm looking for. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let's go look at our opening range. Google is okay, back up a little bit. There you go. Is Press here today? So Press held on to Apple. And if you're there, I said, look, we had an engulfing pattern. Remember last week? We talked about candlesticks and implications. And I said, look, this is fine. But today we have to have an inside day, a harami candle, which means that it opens back up into the previous day's action. That's exactly what is happening, right? So it's like, okay, now what though? Now this is the line in the sand, right? Or should be. Stephen, you're holding? Am I wrong? Now that we had that low established, right? Now that we established this little low right here, there's my little arrow. Now that we established that low, and then we're moving off of it, that should be it. The new line in the sand has been established. This is still moving up here, and you should be expecting this to continue on up into this range, like this. And so for this trade to stay viable from here, we should be thinking that it's going to do that. What else do we have? I'm using this because it's the start of our watch list, first of all, and because I know that we've traded it, second of all, right? There's interest here. What else? Let's go look at the Heiken Ashies. Real close, right? Like yesterday was a tough one. Not yesterday, Friday. If you got out, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. If you stayed in, I'd be like, yep, well done. You stay. What would help us stay in versus get out? Posture. Posture is a big thing. Are we more inclined to stay in when we're 5.5, 6, 6.5 than we are, anything less than that? Of course we are. If our posture was projected to drop on Friday, it wasn't. It wasn't. We projected it to stay stable or possibly increase, right? And that's what happened if you weren't there. Stay stable or increase. Our long-term trend is real well scored right now. Short-term trend, real well scored right now. Look at the stability. in both of those numbers. 5 weeks straight. That's well done, us. Pat yourself on the back. A stable score that still feels representative of the market is a good score, especially if it's positive. Volume stayed the same. Major market stayed the same. But all of these are positive now. Not just positive. The only one that's even close to neutral is the one that we know tends to drop to neutral as the market gets into the sixes. That's expected. We don't think the volume is going to just be like big volume all the time. Buyers, buyers, buyers. We don't think that. That's not expected. I expect volume to drop to zero in a strong market. I expect the trends and the VIX and the sector rotation to carry it. So these two, both positive again. We had some spirited discussions. Stephen was busting my chops all day. What else? VIX 1.25. We got a little bit of ground. He sent me emails. He's denying that he was busting my chops. He's like, I wasn't busting your chops. I'm just playing. Spirited discussions are expected. If someone's not busting someone's chops in here, if we aren't challenging, and if it's asking for understanding, I'm going to hopefully help. However, I want challenges, right? I want challenges. I want to challenge you, and I want you to challenge me and be like, wait a second, are you sure? And I'll be like, well, let me recheck. We'll go back and look again. You'll notice I never one time was like, nope, this is right. I'm going to go back and look and be like, hey, let's talk about it. Let's challenge it. That's the only way that we can see the gorilla. And you might be like, what the hell are you talking about? See the gorilla. It's a video. I've talked about it. Hard to explain, but it illustrates inattentional blindness, where our minds get programmed to see things and then we ignore other things. And then a gorilla can walk in, beat his chest, walk out, and you didn't even see it. What gorilla? That's how we see the gorillas. We challenge and we talk and we're like, okay. So I love it. And he's still waiting. He's still there. He can definitely bust my chops. He's like, where's that spreadsheet? And I have on my list some additional changes and updates to make to the organizational structure here in Discord. I think it'll be good. Anyway, neither here nor there. Where are we? We're bullish. We're 575. Look at this great, strong, stable score. It's not 6.5. Man, in March, think back now to January, February, March when we had that, when we really got in there and you're like, yeah, that was a good market to trade. This is good. But is that an intraday, Bob? An intraday butterfly expires today or end of week? Okay, there's our posture. Let's get back to the watch list. 8-2. Oh, a month. Okay. Would you put on a second butterfly? Are you willing to double butterfly it? Okay, so we've eased up a little. Let's go take a quick peek at our opening range. Let's go take a quick peek at the opening range. Okay, nice. Up 0.18. So we did Harami. We opened back up. We're easing up a little bit here. Okay. From this standpoint, on the SPY, we had a little bit of a... What chart am I on here? This is very wide. Let's go in a little bit. It looked like it wanted to try to go, and you can see it's just still a little bit uncertain. I mean, look how much room we have, first of all, above the 50-day moving average. You can see the tendency to come back down and test near to that average, just at times, boom, boom, and go. Or even above the bottom trend line. This is our 1.75. We haven't even found the bottom of that yet. So could this consolidate more without me blinking? Yeah, I wouldn't be phased at all. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not worried about that. That doesn't change anything for me. If it doesn't get below this, and even if it gets a little below this trend line, I'm feeling pretty confident about the market that we see right now and the moves that we're seeing. We've had this intact for quite some time. So as long as we can convince ourselves to trust our own analysis, we should be okay. Okay, let's get the watch list here. Nope, I don't want that. Apple. Okay, what else? AMD. Oh, look at AMD. That got 3%. My goodness. Amazon. Amazon is flagging. If you're in it, you're probably like, I'm kind of staying with it. Yeah, and if you're trying to get in it, you're thinking, is it going to come back? Right? How far? Here's the old highs right here, 190. We might be lucky to see it even get there. Amazon is definitely on the list, though. That's a fact. AVGO. Ooh. So here's the thing: is right now I would say it's anticipatory. You could get in, you could set a pretty tight stop. It hasn't convinced us. You can see on Friday we had a nice candle at one point where it was up here, but by the end of the day, it's back here. And today, it's just kind of flat, so it's right where it was. Yeah. Okay, there it is. It looks like it's trying to bounce. It hasn't started yet. We'll see. AXP. Now, that one we talked about. So I think we might get a signal, which if at the end of the day holds, I would expect there is likely to be an alert for a financial. Don't know which one yet. This is definitely a valid candidate. It's what I call a sneaky reversal. It didn't give like clear cut patterns, but it did ultimately pop up, pull back, and give a higher low. So it's like it was sneaky, but it did it, right? And so if it holds, if it looks like this at the end of the day or a little better, yes. But if at the end of the day it falls apart and drops back down into Friday's range, well, then the signal is no longer valid. We won't know 15 minutes in. That's the point, right? That's the point. Oh, did the news come out? Or are people expecting it? Because once again, this Boeing trade is working out great. Did anyone take it? I did not. I told you again, I was not going to take it this time either. Let me know if you did. BAC. Okay. If you held on, if you stayed with it, paid off. Working out. Looking good, possibly even for new entry. Let's see if it keeps going. So, looks nice. City. Ooh, City is strong. I told you they were just going to start moving, and sometimes it's hard to find it, right? Sometimes you don't really catch a good signal. So you either have to stay with it, get ready, or just wait for the whole sector to realign. But it is good news to see Citigroup and AXP and Bank of America with this kind of strength, right? We want financials participating. We want a third group in the leadership circle. Industrials are struggling. Oh, this is beautiful right here. I am ready for another run at Colgate-Palmolive. Beautiful stock. Nice consolidation. I don't know what happened here with this volume. That was like enormous volume. And it was a red day. And then today it's just like, it blinked at it like, unfazed. Chipotle, I'm still thinking about it. I think that there's a little funkiness going on as it adjusts to the split. But I at this point, I'm about to now recharacterize this into a consolidation rather than a pullback, which means In fact, as I'm drawing it, I'm actually thinking, yeah, it does feel like it now, right? Tell me what you guys think. Does it feel like we're actually in this consolidation? 69 to 61. We are more than 10%. Right? We are more than 10%. So at this point, for me, I'm thinking maybe popping up, pulling back, higher low. Maybe that's the prudent call at this point. So I don't know. And then we're not too far from earnings. So I think we have time for that. Let's see what happens. No reason to force. No reason to force. COP, nothing there. It's just kind of stabilizing from its fall. Costco, I think I can. It's trying. It's going to hold up. Come on, Costco. You can do it. Still set up, too, if it starts to turn. EQH, boom, add it to the list with AXP. There's two that are on our list that are viable. Citi's gone. I believe BAC's hard as well. I think the entries would be EQH or AXP for a new financial. That's my humble opinion. GBTC trying to pop up. I don't think so. GE, can it hold the 50? Look, another sneaky reversal. You guys are like, oh, Scott, you're just trying to force a trade. And then all of a sudden you're like, but wait. But wait, didn't it break up here and get there? And now it's pulling back, and now it's finding this low, which is higher than this low. And all of a sudden, my friends, a case has been made. An argument has been presented. Is there an entry signal? No, not yet. But it's just lingering out here, waiting. I'm feeling it. Who's with me? Who's with me? I feel like Jerry Maguire. No one walks with me. You know, I actually have never seen that movie. Only the highlights. All the good parts. Show me the money. That's really all you need to know. You had me at hello. I don't know. Gold, not doing much. Google. Come on, Google. If you're holding it, right? I get it. I took mine, but I'm looking for the flag. Flagging. Google's on the list. Very strong. Look how strong Google looks. It looks amazing. That's why Google and I are best friends. HIMS. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. This is what you decide. If you don't like HIMS right now, like as saying, like, if you don't think I would buy this, then you think this is a consolidation. Great. Then just wait for this. And if it comes, you're ready to trade. And if it never comes, then otherwise throw it off your list, because then you're never going to trade it. You're either going to trade it here, or you're willing to trade it here, or what? Or not at all, right? Like, describe for me what trade you would be willing to take as you look at this. And that's fine, right? It's not like I'm throwing it on the list to convince you. I'm saying, hey, look, we had a great discussion about it. What does it mean to us? Well, if this happens or this happens, that's kind of what we're looking at. Right. IWM. It's trying. We're seeing if the small caps could regain some love. KBH, real flat. No sneaky reversal here like there was on GE. Coca-Cola, I'm still waiting to see if it pulls back. It's up a little today, but Meta, I don't know. Is it just me, or is just Google feel a little stronger, look a little stronger, has better signals? I'm going to watch Meta, and even if it gets a little below here, I feel like I'm good all the way to like right around here on a pullback. I would still think about it, but I prefer Google right now. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've been hearing some chats come in. Let me see. Waiting for him to quit going down. Okay. Um, GE's close to resistance. Well, I would say GE does have a. I mean, it was in a channel, but at the same time, it did give a higher low. So when I get a higher low, I think the potential for getting above resistance is increased. That's just we'll see though. We'll see. I like your plan, Steven. So it sounds like you're waiting for the full pattern to complete. I think that's where I am too. Okay, I got caught up on the chats. MFC. Oh, we missed this one. It really didn't give much. It gave a signal back here, and then it kind of gave a little hiccup, and then kept going. Nothing there. I think I know which financials. Morgan Stanley. I think the candle was good Friday, but not the stochastics. And then today with confirmation, you can see this thing's. I don't know if I'd want to chase 2%. That's a maybe. You could always go to this here and take this as a continuation trade, which means rather than think about a stop underneath the support, you use the momentum stop, which is underneath today's low, and then you would put it under today's low, and then you would leave it there for a day, and then you would start adjusting it. You don't have a lot of time. Earnings are coming up. And all financials are in that same boat. So basically, we have a window for a trade right now over the next 2 or 3 days, and then that window will close before earnings. At least for me, if you trade through earnings, maybe not for you. I don't trade through earnings, so I'm going to close the window, wait for it to get through, and then come on the other side and see what comes next based on what the earnings are. So we'll see. Microsoft looks great. Put it on the list. Looking for a trade here this week for sure. Micron. Ooh, the chips are some of the chips are starting to show some chinks in the armor. Netflix is on the list. Nvidia. Yeah, the whole chip sector actually. Starting to show some weakness in chips. We'll see what happens here. Nvidia might move back down to that lower channel, which is fine. I would still trade these at their lower channels. You have to be willing to look at how that happens in chips. They're a volatile sector. If you want to trade in these, you can't just think it's just going to start writing you some checks or something. It's tough. This is one that I held and is starting to show signs of fatigue. QQQ kind of pulling back, which is okay. Had a huge run, a little blip. It might just still be part of this consolidation. I'm okay with that. Technology is leading, clearly. RTX, nothing there. SPY. Okay, so what has our opening range told us? It might not be yet. We might still have some consolidation. TSM, more chip weakness. So if you're in chips, be thinking about how are you going to handle this for getting out of any current trade, and what would you be looking for the next new trade? Two of our concerns in a row. Let's talk about them. The dollar. We're pulling back, but we're still above 29. And really, 28.75, which is right around where this 50-day is. If we don't see this start to pull back, the market's going to feel the pressure that this has, that the stronger dollar has. That's number one. Number two, this is concerning. Right? Now, again, This low right here got down to 11.87, which this low got to 11.88. So when this touched down at the same point, it's no longer a technical higher low, right? So my head signal. But from a body standpoint, that is. Which means if you're carrying bullish trades and you're going to keep carrying bullish trades, do we have the chance to consider some kind of a hedge? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely we do. This has some concern that could happen. I'm not projecting or predicting that that's going to happen. I'm saying that there is concern that is a viable path that could come out of this setup, right? Real quickly, if I take a look at the SPY options and we go out 35 days, and that's the thing at this point. Yeah, we could still go with August, but not for long. And what was the strike? I think we said 522s. Let's see what those 522s are looking like right now. They were about $1.60, which is a little more. Yeah, still there, huh, Bob? About $1.60. So it's a little more than I actually would have expected. But okay. $1.64. So it's not bad. I mean, it's, I would have thought it was closer to $1.40. Based on the vol, but yeah, it's still a viable action if you're carrying bullish trades. Okay, lastly but not leastly, we are working this week. If you're in the cycle, we are working on trading systems and rules, defining your systems and defining your trading rules. If you are not on cycle, I would love to hear what section you're working on. Because, Walmart. You're right. Sorry, man. That's a good one to forget. What is wrong with me? It's on the list, Michael. What the hell? And Sophie. Both look good. This looks viable. I'm looking at this one for an entry, for sure. Thank you, Michael, for the call out, because this looks good and looks like it should be on our list and ready to be tradable. Are you in it or thinking about it, Mike? And SoFi. Is it Sophie or SoFi? SoFi. In it to win it, Michael said. In it to win it. Look at you guys buying cheap stocks. I don't love the trend. I don't love the trend. I mean, look, if you're catching lows, you're catching lows. I'm okay with it simply because if you got in and you set a stop loss, it's a good trade. Why? Because you've contained your risk. And if you're saying, hey, this thing could break back out and get up here to 8 pretty easily, then bam, 3-1. Okay. I can tell you that I've seen crazier things work in times when you were like, I don't think that's going to happen. And then boom. Okay. Let's keep an eye on SoFi. I like SoFi. Sophie just sounds like a little 6-year-old girl down the street. Hey, Sophie, come and get your dog. SoFi Technologies. That sounds better, right? Okay. I'm in. Back to the rules. Thank you. Walmart on the list. If you are not on cycle, if you're doing something else, get in there, because I found out that 2 people are both working on risk. So talk about it together. Hey, what part of it? Are you struggling? I'm struggling. Here's what I'm struggling with, etc., etc. People helping people. Tonight, cocktail hour. Let's chat. Let's talk about it. What's going on? How we feel? How we're trading? Remember, again, the schedule changed, so we'll be meeting Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Boom, boom, boom. Hanging out. Best friend club. Having meetings. All right, everybody. Thanks. It's good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope to see you tonight. As always, happy trading.